Hey, Phil here. Thanks for watching. Well, I'm making some progress on the guitar, the one that um, I wanted in the first place, the one I've been working towards. So far, I have two pieces, and you can barely see when you look at it this side. You can see it more on this side, but you can barely see the seam. I didn't do any tooling whatsoever on this one. I just removed the supports. This one, I did a little bit of tooling, and that's why you can see the seam. And that's fine. That's not going to bother anything. I just won't do any more tooling on them. So I was just able to press these together, and I'm astounded at how well they fit. I mean, can you even see? There's a there's a joint right there. It's there. Oh, there. You got to catch it in the light to see it. So what I did differently is I ran the calibration shapes on my machine, and I didn't know this for the longest time. In the Creality software, and they probably have it for the other brands of 3D printers, but when you go into the software where your slicer, there's a setting that says calibration, and then the first one I think is a temperature tower, and you print out a temperature, and what it does, it's already programmed to, it's going to go in increments of 5 degrees Celsius at each layer. And what that does for you is you can look at it when it's done and look, oh, okay, for this filament, it prints best at 220 degrees or whatever it happens to be. In this case, it was 220 degrees. And then there's another one for pressure advance, and there's another one for retraction, and there's all these different uh, calibrations you can run, and you have to look on the web to know what it means and how to read it and how to adjust it. And I did that. I did that with all three machines, and I didn't do all of them. I mean, there's something like a dozen. I did like four of the big ones. But what I've noticed is that these pieces fit together much better. These were made by two different machines. Now on this guitar that I made, I ran all six pieces on one machine. There's a little bit of stuff there I need to clean up. But I ran all six pieces on one machine, and this one, after running those diagnostics and making those changes, I thought, well, let's try using all three machines. That way I can get it done in, just a few days, 4 days, 5 days instead of 2 weeks. So I've got to say, if you're into 3D printing, take the time to do your diagnostics. And I think what I did is what most people do. You just buy a printer and just dive right in. And there's a lot of stuff you learn as you go. That's one of the things I like about it. I've learned a lot. And I think that this guitar is going to come together very nicely. I really dig the color, and I think it'll look really sharp by the time it's done. I'm going to go with single coil pickups, and I'm going to go a similar color scheme on this. So imagine this body looks like this, and we're going to go with the tortoise shell pick guard and the cream knobs, and I don't know about the neck. This is a good neck. It's a good neck. It is. It's good and straight. The truss rod works. It needs work though, and I would expect any neck that I buy brand new, I would expect to need to file this because there are different gauges of strings, and you're going to want these slotted for the strings that I use. So I bought this little doodad on Amazon. Rubitone? I don't know, Rubitone. Well, what it is, it's a set of files. These are really skinny files, and you just file your nut slots. Now, I'm not done with it yet. I did it to get rid of a lot of the buzzing. A lot of the buzzing was right here. The buzzing was coming from right here in the nut, and I filed it down. That got rid of a lot of the buzzing. The only thing that I don't have right now is the proper gauge to know how far down I need to file. So how close we get to the fingerboard. So I mean I've ordered a set of those gauges so I can get this done properly. I don't want to go through all this work and have a not very playable guitar, which is kind of what this was when I put it together, because these the frets were rough. They were sticking out. What happens? Even if frets, you put the frets in and dress them over time. If the wood shrinks, that leaves that metal part sticking out. It's very uncomfortable on your fingers. And I noticed it had some of that in the top and bottom. Or, well, I mean, both ends. So I did this end. This end is pretty good. I can rub my fingers up and down like that without any problem. Here, I'm kind of catching. I haven't done this side yet, but I've done that side. So that's going to be what I'm working on. And so that's kind of how it's going. I'm really pleased. I think this guitar is going to be really cool. And I'm going to think twice about which neck I buy. I mean, I bought this one because it's pretty, and it is. It's just requiring a lot of work, and I'm kind of fumbling around. I don't have much experience with dressing frets, So and I probably am using equipment that isn't meant for that. I'm using this little file, and I'm taping around the fret, and I'm just using the file to just bring that edge in that's sticking out. So this guitar, it's super close. It is super close to being ready. I mean, it's got a nice setup on it. So it got the neck is straight. It got the action, got the intonation, got the tremolo floating just where I like it. It's playable except for this. I mean, it can be played. It's just not very comfortable. And what'll make it even better is when I get these nut slots filed to the proper depth. So there's a lot to it, I'm finding, but it's not stuff I haven't done in one form or another. I just haven't done it all at once. I've had to address minor fret issues and minor nut issues before. But when you're doing one from scratch, which I'm not really doing it from scratch. I mean, I'm buying the neck. But you got to read those reviews. And I think the review on this, it had 100% positive reviews, but there were only 4 of them. And so you really need to look at the reviews of your seller. If they have 4, how do you know that they didn't have their friends write the reviews, But I'm not going to complain about the neck. I just, if this neck is X number of dollars, and there's another neck that I don't need to do all this work for X plus $30 or X plus $50, I might go ahead and pay that extra $50 because it is taking hours to do this, especially when I'm not really that skilled at it. But I do know that if I were to take it to a shop to do frets, like a fret job is like $200, and yeah, I don't want to pay that. So you can get a Mighty Mite neck for $200. Maybe that's the route I'd go. I don't know. I just like this. It's pretty, and I thought it looks good on the guitar. Anyway, I've rambled on enough, but I was just really excited. I just put these together. I mean, it just came off the printer just a very short while ago. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.